Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of GregTech New Horizons. How are you guys doing today? How's life? I wanted to start today's episode by doing a little bit of Tomcraft, but we have an issue. Do you notice it? Yes, inventory management. We have garbage literally everywhere. Unlocking applied energistics is still far away, and until we would be able to get an applied energistic system and power it, I think we have like 4 episodes or 5. So in the meantime, we're going to start working towards one of my favorite blocks in the game, inventory panel from Ender.io. For those of you who don't remember, this is basically like a crafting terminal from applied energistics. It's hooked up to your inventory system and, well, it works with nutrient distillation and not power. It might look a teeny tiny bit expensive, but I think it's something that we can manage. But anyways, let us do this properly. There is a quest line for Ender.io in the MV age, and we need conductive iron and electrical steel in order to complete it. I have already started processing electrical steel in our blast furnace, but we need to make conductive iron, which is a combination of silver, iron and redstone alloy. Okay, I have been making some redstone alloy. There you go. We actually take all of it, just in case. Also, I'm not very paranoid, but I was trying to expand our base and there was a blood moon, so yes, we have a secure door. So conductive iron is inside the blast furnace with oxygen. We are also incredibly low on oxygen. I had to go and get more oxygen, but the quest was to gather 8 conductive iron and 8 electrical steel. I am cooking a little bit more, but for the moment, the quest should be complete. Maybe I should not read the quests while standing in pollution. So in order to make capacitors from Ender.io, we're going to need something called tantalite. The issue is that the quest wants us to have half a stack, and I have only 22. Of course, I also have it a little bit in crushed and impure version, but that's not going to be enough in order to complete the quest, but we should move ahead and make the machine chassis. So, capacitors, manganese foil, tantalum bolt. So you, my dear friend, pulverize, and I'll look for manganese. Yep, we do not have that much. Actually, this is one of the main reasons that I want an inventory panel, because you see, it's everywhere. Yes, we do not have enough manganese, but it's okay. We just need to process a few ores and then we should be fine. So first off, it's called tantalum, not tantalite. You have to process tantalite and then electrolyze it so that you will get a little bit of tantalum. But on a positive note, it will also give us manganese and oxygen. It's also not the worst thing in the world because we just need the bolts and that should be enough in order to make a few capacitors. So apparently tantalum is a very hard metal because it takes ages to make bolts. We should be able to start making our first capacitors. We just need polyethylene and we should be good to go. And we should definitely start making circuits because I need a lot. So capacitors are kind of expensive because you need 4 tantalum bolts in order to make one, and that's basically 1 ingot. We can't really make that many, but we have enough. There are a few machines that we need to make. One of them is a slice and splice. We also need to make a vat in order to make nutrient distillation. And for the moment, in order to power everything, I think we go with a Stirling generator. And there are also a few alloys that we need to make. One of them is energetic alloy, and the other one is solarium. Well, for this guy we have already everything that we need, but in order to make energetic alloy, we need dark steel. Black steel. What the heck is a black steel? Black bronze. Okay, so I need to make black bronze, then make black steel, and then make energetic alloy? It's also good that we can get some rotten flesh, because in order to make nutrient distillation, we need a little bit of rotten flesh. So I have been preparing some stuff. Where are you dying? And I thought I should bring you in order to make a few circuits. So far I have been hoarding components in order to make a few stacks of advanced circuits, but I do need to get a few HV machines, so we need to make some. We should obviously start with making a few integrated logic circuits. So we take 1 stack of U, 1 stack of U, 1 stack of diodes, 1 stack of resistors, and I have already forgotten the rest. Yes, tin bolts and copper wire. So you guys go in, we have some copper wire, good, and I'm assuming you should start working. No. Oh, this is an assembling machine. I hate it. Everything looks exactly the same. Now you should work. Thank you. I just wasted 1 stack of tin. In the meantime, my solarium ingots are ready and we should be able to process them into plates. And let us get crafting. We need a few machine chassis. I'm going to make 4. I am going to start with making a Stirling generator, and I have absolutely no idea why, but apparently we need iron rotors. And if I have not messed up the recipe, here is the Stirling generator. So this guy is basically like a coal burning generator, and I'm assuming we can burn sodium? Yes, we can. Good. It makes 20 RF. Making the vat is a little bit more complicated. We're going to need 2 tanks, electrical steel frame. Ew, That is perfectly fine by me. There you go. So here are my tanks. And it is not a quest. The only thing remaining is to make the slice and splice. But generally speaking, since making nutrient distillation with 20 RF per tick is going to take a little bit of time, maybe we should start making like 2 buckets. It's also not a very horrible recipe, we just need rotten flesh as well as some mushrooms. It can also be netherwort and beef, but you know. Oh, in this version you cannot put rotten flesh. Aha, it's fine, I can put zombie heads. And with 3 buckets of water, it started working. Very good. We need the slice and splice in order to make the Z-Logic controller, but we also need to have an axe and a shear in order to make it. So I'm going to make 2 axes and 2 shears, because we need one in order to make the actual machine, and then we need to put one inside the machine so that it works. Oh, shears are a garbage recipe. Well, I do have a steel shear, but I need to make one. So there you go, 3 shears. Ladies and gentlemen, slice and splice. And that was actually a quest. Great. So this is not that expensive. Let us make a few Z-Logic controllers. Oh, you have to do this one by one. Okay, I forgot, we don't have Ender IO in 1.16, so it has been a while. It started working. It's going to be incredibly slow. So we have almost everything in order to make the inventory panel, but we're missing one very important thing, and that is Eye of the Ender. That requires an HV chemical reactor, and for the moment, we don't have any circuits. So let me wait for the integrated logic circuits to get ready, then I have to make a few good integrated circuits, and then I can make the advanced circuit. So it has been a while and we have a decent supply of integrated logic circuits. I did not have enough good circuit boards, so we have a few of these guys. But that should be enough in order to make 14 advanced circuits, and for the moment I just need 1. Of course later on we are going to mass produce everything, but for the moment I really need inventory management, because I did manage to find a mushroom in here. I know, I'm also confused. These are electrum, okay, cool. And of course if you forgot what we are trying to do, we are trying to make an advanced chemical reactor so that we can make an Eye of the Ender. Not just one, a few. So how do we do this? So HV machine hall, we need 2 plastic fluid pipes, and 1 electric motor. There you go, advanced chemical reactor. You're HV, right? Yes. So I did manage to go to the nether and get a few blaze rods, and I also bought some ender pearls. But if we want more, it's not going to be a huge problem because we can buy the spawn eggs. Another thing that you should remember is that getting an Eye of the Ender is our gateway to arcane infusion. You do work, right? Yes, you do work. This is literally one of the most happiest days of my life. So the only thing remaining is 2 pulsating crystals, and honestly speaking the rest of that is not going to be that hard. We just need dark steel plates, we need one of these displays which is easy peasy, and we also need the remote awareness upgrade. This is going to be expensive because it does require advanced circuits, and we should be able to just make 6 of them. It's a good start, I'm not going to complain. Why did you die? Oh, it's 8. Although in the meantime maybe I can buy a few more good circuit boards and maybe just craft them using gold. So ladies and gentlemen, we finally have it. Of course it does not have any nutrient distillation, so it's offline. But basically the way that it works is that we're going to have a network of chests connected by item conduits. Of course it can also be a filing cabinet or a storage drawer. Then we put the terminal over here, we give it a bucket of nutrient distillation, we give you a remote awareness upgrade, and now you might notice it's online. Another thing that you might notice is that even though it's connected to the inventories, it cannot read any of them. This is because each and every one of those inventories is going to need a remote awareness upgrade. Now you might notice that it's reading the filing cabinet. We do not need to change the setting on the inventories, but I think you have to be on output enabled, because we want items to go back into the inventories. Of course the remote awareness upgrade is incredibly expensive because it needs 2 advanced processors, so the bigger inventory we connect to it, the better. I was trying to cut a diamond block in order to make a few diamond chests, but I think at this rate it's going to take an hour. It's okay, let me do a little bit of redecoration and I'll be right back. The inventory panel that you see in front of you is my greatest achievement in this mod pack so far. It's just amazing. We basically have a centralized inventory and I don't have to look for items ever again. And you might also notice that I have cleaned up our machine area and there are no more random chests. Also I have finally realized that in GregTech you cannot have a neat row of machines, you literally have to go with garbage until you get to automation, meaning applied energistics. So yes, for the moment every single machine is going to look like this because we have to change them like once every episode. Anyhow, I want to work a little bit on our rail system, but in the moment I also want to make a few circuits. We do have a few, these are the integrated logic circuits, and we need to make much more. The problem is I'm out of diodes. We have 8 small piles of gallium arsenide, therefore we should be able to make 8 silicon. So we need 4 stacks. Oh, and by the way, something that I forgot to mention is that whenever you put something in the return area, it takes time for it to go back to the chests. You can actually accelerate that using speed upgrades, but they're kind of expensive. Cause you know, in order to make it, you need a basic item filter that requires an item filter from GregTech, and this is the recipe. Oh, and by the way, one thing which is very important is that whenever you're configuring the chests, you should not enable extract, cause otherwise the entire game your items are going to travel between the chests. Are you offline? Okay, well, it is going to take 15 minutes. In the meantime, we can focus on Railcraft. So if you guys remember, we were supposed to make a railroad from our base over here to the oil fields in the Mesa biome. We do have a tunnel bore which has been relatively busy, but now we need to go towards the south. Oh, this is the other side of the mountain. Ew, we cover it. And since I really prefer that we cover the ore chunks, we're going to dig from here. Oh, we have visitors, and he's very happy to see me. Oh, he has a bow. I hate you. Oh my goodness, why are we getting so many mobs? So he explodes, encases you in cobblestone and water, so that you suffocate. That's not really fun, cause now I have to clean it up. Well, this is going to take some time. Let me fix it and I'll be right back. Oh, come on. I have cleaned up the place, I have torched up the cave, and I have assembled our bore, so we should be fine. We have a decent supply of gravel, we have a decent supply of tracks, and we're going to have a decent supply of coal. So start digging, my friend. I hate mobs in this game. Where did you even come from? Ah, we have a hole. It's fine, we just cover it. Anyways, now everything has started working again, and I was trying to say that this time we're going to have a personal anchor because the bore is going to go far away from our base and it will not be loaded. And we're just going to load it for 1 hour. Our tunnel bore has done a decent amount of progress and I will show you that later, but first I thought maybe we should go through the basics of Railcraft. In Railcraft, we do not require powered rails in order to drag our minecarts. We drag them using locomotives, and there are 2 types, steam and electric. Of course, we're going to go with steam because they look cooler and slightly cheaper, but electric is also something that we could have done. So how does it work? Well, first off, we need to place down the locomotive on a track. And of course, since it's going to work with steam, of course it's going to require water and a little bit of fuel. Right now it is on shutdown, so it's not moving at all, but if we put it to idle, it is heating up. Another thing that you should remember is that we should be able to hook up different minecarts to the locomotive using a crowbar. So we can go inside the minecart and ask this guy to run. Yes, it's very cool, I know. We can also determine the speed, so we can go really fast, which is much more cool. And we should also make sure it does not run out of water. Okay, good. Of course, we want to use Railcraft for automation, so putting coal and water manually inside it is not really automated. Well, how do we do that? There are item loaders and fluid loaders from Railcraft. These are the advanced version, the basic version will also work, but I was like, yeah, why not? We make them. We can afford it. So for example, we can have an item loader over here, we can fill it in with coal, and since we want the locomotive to stop on top of this loader, we are also going to have a locking track. You might notice that at this very moment it's offline, but if I put the locomotive on top, it will receive the charcoal, and I kind of forgot that we also need water for it to run, so let us give it water. But now that all the coal has been transferred to the locomotive, if you look at the locking track right now, it's on, meaning that it's no longer going to stop the locomotive and it can run. I did dig out an extra tunnel and it does go on the loop, so it should come back any moment. Yes, it's coming back. Of course, now that all the items have been loaded, it will go on another loop. But that is basically how we can provide it with coal. How do we give it water? Well, the Railcraft tanks are actually used for this. So this tank is over here, it's going to fill up this fluid loader with water. And if I put the locking track over here, it should stop and it should fill in with water. What happened to my locomotive? Oh, I forgot I removed the track. Anyways, let us try this one more time. I'm going to put the coal inside the advanced item loader and we are going to have water inside the fluid loader. If I put my locomotive on top, it's getting water and it's also getting coal. That is the basics of how trains work. How are we going to use it for? Well, I did install a miner at the end of the tunnel, and this is just a demonstration purpose, it's not going to remain like this. But essentially what we're going to do is that we are going to have an item pipe and we want it to go inside an advanced loader, so I have to make some wiring. We are extracting the items from the miner and we're putting it inside the loader. And we have our locking track over here because we want to stop the locomotive over here so that the minecart with chest will be on top of the item loader. Our locomotive, which will be chunk loaded as well, is going to come through the tunnel and it's going to pick up the items which are in the item loader. Any moment. I had to put it on slow just in case I have to catch it. come on. So it has stopped and we should get items inside the chest. Yes, our train is actually not moving. That is because the item loader is giving a redstone signal to this track. The stopping track is actually over here. So essentially what we need to do is that we need to have a redstone line like this and maybe a repeater like so. And then it will move. It whistled! I love you. I should go and get my enriched uranium ring. Anyways, the trains are going to be on a loop, so they will get water, they will get coal, they will pick up the items, and then they will offload the items. So ladies and gentlemen, offloading the items from the chest is exactly the same as loading them. We just need an item unloader, and we still have our locking track as well as our redstone. This is just for demonstration purposes, so we're just going to have a hopper. I just had to activate the locomotive and run so that we don't miss it. Are you coming? Yes. It should stop here and it should unload everything inside this guy. I hope. Yes. Are we getting items? No. Oh, it's going inside the chest. I forgot. But you see, all the items are being extracted, they will go inside the chest, and then the locomotive will go on its way. But that is exactly how we're going to do everything. We are going to have a row of miners inside the tunnel, we're going to have oil, the trains are going to go and pick up the resources, and they're going to offload them over here. And by the way, it's not just going to be this tunnel inside the mountain, it's going to be thousands of blocks. So it's gonna be fun. And kind of a ridiculously big project because it's going to take ages to complete. Also, I just wanted to show you how much our tunnel bore has progressed and... Whoa, okay. Well, it did make a bridge out of gravel. Not that bad. And it also killed a sheep. But just to show you how far it has progressed, we are already here. Our base is over there. Good boy. And I just realized I have to make a nice bridge. Also, this might look like a very ridiculous investment, but one thing that we should remember is that until we get a void miner, which requires ZPM, we have to physically mine ores. We are in early HV, we need to get to EV, IV, LUV, and then ZPM. So eventually when we are done with this, it's going to pay off and it's going to be fun. So let us take a very small break from Railcraft because that is not going to be done today, it's not going to be done tomorrow, not in a week, not in 10 days. Probably a month. And instead, we're going to focus on circuits. I did manage to make 2 more stacks of the integrated logic circuits. We need to convert them into good integrated circuits and then convert them into advanced circuits. And I do believe we also have a little bit in our system as well. Yeah, we have 88 logic circuits and 12 good integrated circuits. But our main bottleneck at this very moment is good circuit boards, because that either requires sodium persulfate, which we do not have in sufficient quantities, or iron 3. You guys have been telling me that iron 3 is more worth it, so we're going to try and get it. So in order to make iron 3 chloride, we need hydrochloric acid, which we are actually getting as a byproduct of sodium bisulfate. We have 51 buckets. That's not going to be enough. I just remembered that there was a better way of getting hydrochloric acid from chlorine, which we don't have the setup for it. So what we're going to do right now is that we are going to use the 51 buckets that we have, like so, and we are going to convert it into iron 3 chloride. So you, my dear friend, you go inside the tank, we give you iron dust and some cells. Yeah, each 3 buckets gives you like 1 bucket. We also have a big chest. We take it, and while the iron 3 chloride is getting ready, we also process some tin. So that is 17 buckets, it should give us 170. Oh, that was a quest. Nice. Anyways, we do have the circuit board itself, we have the gold foil, that should give us good circuit board. It's just very slow, but it is a little bit more economical on gold, so I can't really complain. So I really want to have 1.5 stacks or 2 stacks of advanced circuits so that I know that we're good for a while. Let me get crafting and I'll be right back. And I have transistors and diodes. Okay, yes, I know, I should stop making transistors. That took far longer than I expected because I thought I already have all the ingredients. Yes, of course, I was missing a few, but the problem is processing. Our base is LV and we are in the HV age, so yeah, everything is super slow. But all of that being said, we have 1 stack and 56. And for each one of the advanced circuits which we are going to use in the HV age, we need only 1 good integrated circuit. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Cause you know, for a good integrated circuit board, you need 2 integrated logic circuits. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio and that was not very fun. All of that being said, we should have almost 2 stacks. And that makes me really happy. Oh, the speed is garbage. Really garbage. Well, I'm assuming there is no point of waiting for this to be completed because, I don't know, it could take like 2 hours. So I think with that, it is a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.